So welcome to The Explainer. We continue focusing on the day of protests. We're speaking to activists, we're speaking to educationists. We want to hear what they want, what their demands are, and where we go from here. But first, we're also live with you on X Spaces. I know we've got some people lined up with the mic, so let's get straight to it from you on X Spaces. Wakili, you have the mic. Go for it. Please, also, just a quick reminder, keep it short. We want to get in as many people as possible. Wakili, you have the mic. Twende kazi.
Thank you so much, Yvonne, and thank you to the panelists in studio. I think the president is behaving like a drowning man who is trying to clutch at every straw. Recent statements that are attributed to him have proven very reckless. For instance, a whole president declaring that the protests are funded by the Ford Foundation. God forbid the Ford Foundation were to close shop and relocate from the country, would start 1,000 and hundreds of thousands of jobs and livelihood lost. And I think the media is also being very unfair when they keep asking the Gen Zs that what next after the Ruto must go protest. Nature abhors a vacuum. Certainly something will come up. A week ago, the cabinet secretaries were in office. But because of this pressure, today the cabinet has been dissolved. So as we continue to persist and confirm that Ruto has to go, I think it is high time Ruto, as the president, understands that he has led this country, he cheated his way into leadership, and he's led this country with a lot of propaganda. And he is now frustrated and is not able to deliver on the Kenyan people the promises which drove him to the position of power. What the young men and women, the youths of this country are calling for is not propaganda, is not propaganda-led leadership. And we are not going to ask him we are not going to tell him what he needs to do. The Constitution is clear. He knows what he needs to do. He also knows what he should do as the president. So if he's unable to do, then kindly let him just pack up, go and leave our country in good form and shape.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wakili. Grace, you're up next.
Yes, thank you. My name is Grace Olwande. I'm a children's rights activist. And what has made me even go to the streets is the number of deaths. And I am convinced that next time I'll also be there because of the children, the child that died, and also the children that were being tear gassed at school, which I think is inappropriate. Now, my message to the president is that we want him gone. We have given him time, and the time is overdue, and he's not doing anything about what we want. If you look at it, Yvonne, the system of education is relatively very low, and there is a lot of corruption in it, be it hiring of teachers, be it teachers being deregistered because of demonstrations. And these are the impunities that we would like to stop. Okay. Secondly, if you look at, just 1 minute, Yvonne, if you look at even the CSS that resigned, we want them to face charges in court for the alleged corruption. It is just not a matter of resigning. It's a matter of resigning and taking part and taking full course of the law for what you did. Okay. So the president is still not getting it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Grace. Let's move to Leonard now. Leonard, you have the mic.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. My name is Leonard Mbare. Thank you for this chance. I would like to start by saying this. This country is bigger than the president himself and any leader in this nation. And there is no leader who can lead a country that has got no citizens. So this time, the president has to understand that there are no leaders who are leading this protest. But this protest is being led by the kind of the leadership that he chose to help him govern this nation. We have given him too much room and too much space, and he felt so much comfortable, and he was flying everywhere, but doing nothing in this nation. We are really struggling and suffering in this nation as the people of this nation. We wake up very early in the morning to ensure that we make the ends meet. But at the end of the month, we see the huge taxes that we are paying by force. And we are crying and telling this government and talking to the president, and he's telling us that he wants dialogue. How many times have we had dialogues in this nation? There are so many dialogues that we've had before. There is nothing that has come out of it. And now we are saying we don't want dialogue with him. We want him to implement the exact things that we are crying about. Okay. The time has come that he has to realize that this nation is bigger than himself, and there is no one who is funding these demonstrations. Thank you so much, Yvonne. Thank you, Leonard. Appreciate that. Let's go to Peter Correa now. Peter? All right. While you get... All right. I believe you're good now, Peter? Peter Correa, talk to us. All right. Let's quickly move to Moses Baraza. We'll come back to you, Peter, in a moment. Moses Baraza. Let's go. We'll come back to you. Thank you. Baraza.
Hello, yes?
Yes, is this Moses?
Are you getting me? Yes, it is Moses. Huh?
Hi, Moses. Go for it.
Thank you, Yvonne, and at Citizen TV for giving me this chance. It is clear that William Ruto has gone overboard, and we are not going to retreat from the streets. We are going to be in the streets for all the time until William Ruto gets out of the office. Recently, we have realized that he has captured everywhere. He has captured the court. He has captured the parliament. Even they were not able to advise him on the finance bill. They went ahead and voted yes for the draconian finance bill, only to be stopped by the protesters and particularly the Gen Zs. So we are going to be in the streets until William Ruto gets out of the office. That is the only honorable thing that he can do for us. He has fired the cabinet secretaries, and we will make sure that a cabinet secretary who have been fired appears again in the cabinet secretaries to be formed. The cabinet secretaries to be formed should be formed on basis of meritocracy and not just on tribal basis as he had done, rewarding his incompetent friends who are participating in bringing this country down. So we look forward to protest until William Ruto gets out of the office. Thank you.
Thank you, Moses. I believe in the spirit of fairness, let's go back to Peter, because he had his hand up and requested the mic. Peter, I hope you are ready now to speak to us. Okay. Looks like some challenges there. We'll attempt to... okay, so sorry, guys, in studio. Let me just take one more. Justice, and then we can come back and talk some more here. Justice? Justice Elijah, you have the mic. Or Peter, whoever is ready, I'm going to take either one of you. Going once, going twice. We'll come back to you guys. Don't worry about it. Masi, so, you know, all of this that is being said on the spaces as well, you know, permit me to ask some of these questions as well. The practicality of the Constitution and where we go from here. I know I've asked this question, but I think just to understand, you know, what happens. I think we'd asked Wanjira this question before the break. If the president leaves office today, who will govern? Who will implement perhaps the reforms that you're talking about, governance? Who will take the mantle towards fighting corruption and ensuring a better Kenya?
First of all, there's something that the youth know that the political class does not know. And I would like to put that across in just a few statements. The older generations in all positions of leadership in this country have lived their lives. Most of them are enjoying the profits of investing in politics. So they do not care if we have a great future or not. We are young, we are educated, we are energetic. And all our lives are ahead of us. We are very young.
So talking about the entire older generation or those in politics?
The older generation in position of leadership.
Okay.
And so we do not want success to be given to us in forms of political tokenism. We want to work. We are ready to work. And since this protest started, we have not seen any youth stand up and say, you know what, guys, I want to be given this political position. There's a difference between a madman and a foolish man. A madman knows exactly what he wants. A foolish man thinks he knows what he wants. The troubles of this nation, they have disturbed our minds. They have made us really mad. And so the older generation just thinks that we are a bunch of fools. When you say we are mad, we are guilty. But if you think that we are foolish, man, that is where we draw the line. Language is not something to play with. When we say anguka nayo, it represents our frustrations. When we say Godha tena, it represents our resilience. Kenya ni home, and home must be respected. Ruto and everything he represents is just Rutoism. And Rutoism means it shows systems that do not work, incompetence, nepotism, cronyism, sexism, tribalism, all of that. And so when we say he must go, we mean Rutoism must go, together with everything that represents that, together with the political class, together with the old generation. And so when we ask this question of, guys, what next? What is going to happen? First of all, scrap out all of this. Get out. Let the PSs, let the parastatal heads represent the face of Kenya.
Okay.
It cannot be only one tribe. 99% of these leaders, of these people that have been appointed, come from one tribe. And so when we say they must go, we say all of them go. Bring people into these positions that have merit. Bring people into these positions that can implement policies. When we look at Matiang'i, when he was CS for education, he did not do a miracle. He did not abracadabra and do magical things and then made the system of education work. All he did was implement policies that were there.
Should Matiang'i make a comeback?
No, absolutely not.
All right.
Yeah.
No, just,
I am not saying he should come back. I am saying these people, when they are appointed, should implement the policies that are in those ministries. I'm not saying he's an angel. I'm just saying he implemented those policies. And lastly, they should follow the rule of law. The Constitution is what stands for Kenya. The Constitution is what stands for you, for me, for everyone. And so when we get corrupt leaders that we have now that we say must go, they must.
Okay. If we were to have an election today, if you follow sort of what the Constitution says, if we were to run one today, who would be these people, in your view, that would take it forward? Because
we're not yet at the point where we would need to answer that kind of question. And I also feel like the question, what next, leans towards a little bit of a colonial angle, and not to anyone's fault, but there is a time that Kenya was a colony, and we fought for our independence. The only people who would have asked what next were most definitely the colonialists, because they're the only people whose establishment was shaken. As far as we are concerned, we do not want to be killed. It is a very unfortunate event that today I was bundled up in an alley somewhere with about 20 strangers that I had never met. And we were not meeting because we were sharing a meal or drinks. We were meeting because we were running away from live bullets in the middle of the central business district. It is a very heartbreaking thing that now we have to look up behind our backs knowing that someone could possibly shoot at me. This never was a possibility in this country for me as a young person, and that's what I'm rejecting. If you look at it, while people are so obsessed with figuring out what's next, the policies that are currently here kill way more people than the police. The police will only kill a fraction of the fraction. They only kill like a very small sample of the people, but the policies that we have in place kill way more of us. We have demons in this country that bedevil the country, such as tribalism, where you would have a governor who spends more time in the media than governing his county, and I would like to call out the governor of the county of Nyeri, who has the audacity to say that he wants 7 CS positions in government. Who does he think he is that he will demand for CS positions based on a tribal basis? When we call for a lean government, we are calling for a government that is based on competence and meritocracy. We will cross those bridges when we get there. But for now, by Jove, we want to clean and drain this swamp, because whatever is happening to us now is tantamount to organized anarchy. When we have less than 1,000 people being richer than the 55 million of us, that is tantamount to anarchy. And that's why I consistently have said that corruption is tantamount to genocide. Corruption is genocide. We are facing a genocide problem where the political class directly does not care about killing the dreams, the lives, the ambitions, and the hopes of millions of its citizenry, and all they are obsessed with is property and the question, what next? We do not need to figure that out. We know that this is not working for us, and we will not tolerate it. We are still not ripe enough to figure out who is going to be the leader of whatever it is. We have to do the cleanse first, and then we will decide what we are bringing back into the house.
So let's focus on now. So there's talks there's talks about talks. There's talks of a broad-based government. Does that solve the problem, Wanjiru?
No. I think we've been very clear that we do not want to have a dialogue with murderers, with corrupt people, with people who don't care for the people. We know that they don't care. They don't have to. The other thing is the president is such a liar. Always lying every time he opens his mouth to talk to the public.
He's lying.
Yeah, even Ford Foundation said, your president lied. We are not working with him. So losing domestic, credibility, and even international credibility. Why do we sit down and say, fine, let's talk? Our demands have been out there. Why is the person who killed Rex on the streets of Kenya today killing protesters? Didn't we say we do not want extrajudicial killings anymore? And the president comes and says, my government, there will be no extrajudicial executions. Yet we have 50 Kenyans who have lost their lives in the last 3 weeks. So we don't want lies. We don't want to sit down with people who honestly have absolute disregard for the rule of law and the Constitution, which is our leader as the Gen Z movement, which is our leader as the young people of this nation. The Constitution is our Bible, is our Quran, is our reference point moving forward. We want to institutionalize our movement constitutionally. And that is why we are saying Article 43 of the Kenyan Constitution, which promises social justice for the people of Kenya. The right to water, Yvonne. Imagine all those years since independence, we still don't have water in some parts of this country. Housing, education, healthcare, those are issues that are basic. And now this new alternative political leadership is about discussing about those matters at our community level, at that grassroots level. Can we talk about how do we ensure we have water in the community? How do we ensure, those practical issues, social justice and alternative political leadership? They have to go hand in hand, and the Constitution needs to be the reference point for anything that happens in the country. The other thing about the question of what next that you have just asked again, we can have a transitional committee that is multi-sectoral, that we have experts come in, that we have as young people, we have everybody who has the best interest of this country that we now consult. I've talked about collective intellect. Everybody has something to offer. And our country is not short of professionals that can move the country forward. There's going to be no vacuum, really. Everybody can see that this other crop of leadership is, let me not use that word. But yeah, and we are saying, if you cannot take us to Canaan, we can take ourselves. We see it. We want to go there. Do not stop us. And the thing that has been aching us the most is the killings. Why would you kill us? Why would you send killer police with what is that? As we are just looking at this, like, has these people lost their minds?
What weak system is this that we live in? What weak police system is this that the only time they can showcase their prowess in the line of fire is while firing at innocent protesters who are only armed with roses and water bottles? What weak men are these that we are giving guns that the only time they can prove their competence is when they're shooting at innocent protesters? What weak men are these that for them to only prove whatever their source of power is while shooting a child in the leg? What weak men are these that for them to show their power, what they have to do is shoot a marked journalist? What weak men are these that they have to shoot innocent protesters in the head? What weak men are these that they cannot even show their faces? Not once have I walked in the streets with my face covered. I'm walking as a marked man in my own country, but a gun-wielding criminal in military or police fatigue is masked to the very eyebrow. What weak men are these?
Okay. Masi, just a very quick one, sorry, because there's somebody who's called in, and I'll tell you who it is in a minute. Sorry, Masi, if you don't mind, sorry, he's been waiting on call for just a minute. I'll come back to you. Sorry, please indulge me with this one, Masi. I'd like us to speak to Gitobu Imanyara, who's called in on the show. Gitobu Imanyara is a man who, fought for the second liberation of this country and the return to multipartyism and for democracy. Gitobu, thank you so much for joining us on The Explainer tonight. What are your thoughts and reflections at this time?
First, Yvonne, thank you very much. I just couldn't resist calling you to say how happy I am to see these young people speaking to Kenyans, because a lot of people have been asking who are the leaders of this movement. We are seeing them on the screens, and not just the three that are on the screen now, but we've been seeing them for the last 3 weeks. So those who've been looking for an opportunity to identify them in order to eliminate them should now know that they cannot possibly eliminate them. Kenya has passed a non-return point because our young people, the people I'm seeing on the screen, the people I've been seeing the whole day today on the streets of Nairobi, have come out fearlessly to tell us that time has come to hand over to a new generation that is not tinted with corruption, that is not tinted with tribalism, because you are exhibiting it, you are showing it to us. So I'm very happy, and that's why I called you, Yvonne, and the team there that you have on the panel.
Thank you so much, Gitobu. Always a pleasure hearing from you, and thanks for calling in on the show. So, guys, I'd like us to wrap up our conversation. Maybe just some closing thoughts. I'll start with you, Masi.
I think there's something very crucial that we are forgetting. We have asked very good questions. Is it not enough that you are killing us? Is it not enough that you are abducting us? Is it not enough that you are threatening us in our own country, at home? They are now going after Gen Alphas. They are going after Gen Zs. They have gone after millennials. Now they are going after Gen Alphas. How, you will ask? The education system. You want to reduce capitation, you want to reduce the access to education, you want to take the money that is meant for education and put it somewhere else. And so these Gen Alphas and our children yet to come will not get the free education that we got. What is the intention? Are you trying to keep us illiterate so that you can control us? Are you trying to take away from the progress that we have made as a country? Education should be free, from the primary schools to high schools to university. What is this information that you feel that if we get, we are going to be powerful? And what is this that you're hiding that you do not want us to find out? Especially in education, and agriculture. So you want to break the backbone of this economy so that we will always come back to the political class and tell you guys, please help us, please help us. The way forward is very simple. make systems work. Kenya ni home. Make things work at home. Is it not enough that people took school fees that was meant for students in Uasin Gishu County? And let me make this very clear. There is one person that was very central in all of this. And right now, in the system of health, in the Ministry of Health, they chair the Ministry of Health, someone who has cases in court.
Finya.
Niulize, health system, itafanya aje kazi? How are we going to get medicine in hospital? It was not enough that you took school fees. Now we want to make our people remain sick. We do not want to give enough doctors. We do not want to post interns. We do not want to release the money that should be for hospital. Now you have broken the education system. You want to come to agriculture with fake fertilizer, fake seeds. I think people have forgotten that people in Baringo actually harvested maize cobs last year. You want to break that. You want to break the Ministry of Health so that we will remain always begging, always coming to you on our knees and telling you guys, please help us, please. Yeah. It is enough. Okay. It is enough. Everyone needs to know that it is enough.
Okay, great. Casmo, final comments?
There comes a time when we have to do the things that need to be done, and the time is now. The president has time without number called for dialogues, but I am inclined to believe that he is only giving us lip service. He is not interested in any form of dialogue because we have shown up in the streets to humbly petition and state our case, and we have been met with the bullets and tear gas and that irritating water. We demand that the people who have been arrested and abducted be released unconditionally as a sign of goodwill. We demand that there be heads rolling in the police department because there are people who gave those orders. If you have seen, because I have witnessed today a man lose his life, if you saw how heartless those people were, they felt like they had immunity. Let us find the people who have been issuing those directives and commands. Corruption should be made a capital crime because it is genocide. What you're doing to us as the ruling and political class is nothing but killing us as the young people of the country. We demand accountability from the ruling class. We demand that you stop hiring on basis of tribe and cronyism and you start hiring on capacity and merit. We demand as young people that you respect our lives, that you stop killing us. One life was one too many. There are people who will never walk again. And that's why we walk on the streets. And we demand that you follow this constitution because all sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya and shall be exercised only in accordance to this constitution. You are playing outside the constitution. We still honor it. Mr. President and your administration, make things right with this country. Show us that goodwill which you speak of. And remember that while you can kill a revolutionary, you cannot kill the revolution.
Thank you, Casmo.
Amazing. I like that. Yeah. Each generation must discover its mission and fulfill it in relative capacity, as said by Frantz Fanon. The mission of our generation is to weed out bad leadership in our country. In honor, the preamble of the Kenyan Constitution honors all those who gave their life for a better country. And I want to address the Kenyan people. I think we have already told the president and the ruling elite enough. Dear Kenyans, no one is coming to rebuild Kenya for us. Sisi ndio tuko. And we are the ones who've been waiting for, dear young people. So let us take the initiative to actually rebuild, to consult at that grassroots level. I really want to emphasize that the way we are saying we are leaderless, we are actually leaderful because everybody is showing leadership from every point they are at. Let us continue showing this leadership to our community members and take the initiative to have the people's assemblies. Let that be like our people's parliament, where we discuss issues and make decisions that directly affect us under Article 43 of the Kenyan Constitution and Article 1 of the Kenyan Constitution. That is our Bible, our Quran, our new tribe Katiba.
Thank you.
Yeah, Viva.
Thank you. Wanjira, who's an activist. Kasmul Makore, who's a revolutionary artist. Masi Tarus, who's the founder. Kenya Ni Home Initiative. Thank you all for being here with us on the program tonight. And thanks as well to you on X Spaces. We hope to have as many more of you as we can. I want us to just update you on what's been happening.